Welcome back to the Citizen Channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well, and we look forward back to Premier League action after the ups and downs of the Champions League for another season. We've finished that one off. We'll go back to the Premier League. 4 games to go, 4 wins. We're going to be Premier League champions again. We're already in the Champions League, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But it certainly matters from the point of view of getting the old pot in the corner, getting the old pot in the trophy room and denying that lot from up the East Lancs, that's for sure. So we're going to play Newcastle this week. Not a bad game to play after this European not debacle, but disappointment, I'd say. I'm not going to use the word debacle. I'm going to say for 89 minutes it went very well, didn't it? It's just a very disappointing night in the end. But obviously Newcastle not a bad team. Of the 4 teams we could play, or the 4 teams we are playing at the end of the season, a couple away, of course, this is probably the better of the 4 to play. A home game against Newcastle, who are not too bad. They like to play a little bit of football as well, so that's all well and good for us. 8th of May 2022, 4:30pm kickoff at the Etihad. If you see me, come and say hello. I'll probably have my lenses in, so I won't have my specs on. But please, if you are there and you see me, come and say hello, and be great to see you. And this is our preview, match day 35. Of course, we'll be having a look at our opponents there. They've done all right, haven't they? It didn't look so good at Christmas time, but hey, they got there, bringing all the young talent in that they got from the academy. Oh well, all right, they bought a few players, but hey, who can blame them? That's the way to go. That's what every team who gets a big investment does. So even us down the line. Of course, I'll be trying to predict our starting 11, which is sort of an easy task, but it's not an easy task because at the end of the day, we're not too sure about physicality and the mentality of our players at the moment. And Pep will know that, of course, when he picks a team. And I'm sure all the players will bounce back, and there's a league title on the line. Of course they will. Match is being shown on Sky Sports, and in charge we have Mr. Stuart Atwell, 39-year-old. His last fixture was the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton, and he's taken charge of 25 games this season and showed 86 yellow cards and just 1 red. So hopefully we won't be getting a red on Sunday. That averages 3.5 cards a game. So not one of the most prolific card givers in the Premier League. Because his last match where he played for us I was there that day at the Emirates on January New Year's Day, of course, which I think most Arsenal fans thought it was favourable to us, but I thought he made the right decisions at times. So, yeah, I think that was just part of being the fact that we scored that last-minute winner at Arsenal. That was all that was. But that was the last game he ref for us anyway. His assistants, his linos, Konstantin Hatzidakis and Neil Davis. Mr. Gillay, yes, Jared Gillay, the Australian, is named as the VAR guy at Stockley Park, and making his coffee is Nick Hopton. And in charge of the dugouts, looking after the timekeeping and looking after the boards, is Mr. Anthony Taylor, that well-known Altrincham fan, of course. Yeah, whatever, Anthony. Previous meetings, last time at the Etihad, of course, it was a COVID game, no fans, Boxing Day 2020. A 2-0 win for City, an awful day weather-wise. I'm glad there was no fans. It was absolutely terrible. Wind, rain, just a horrible day, and we managed to win it 2-0, fortunately. Starting 11 that day, and Ederson, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Aki, Gundogan, Rodrigo, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Torres, and Sterling. And Gundogan and Torres both score 1 each in each half. As I say, it was sort of a comfortable-ish win. We had to play, not just Newcastle, had to play the elements, I think. Both teams did, of course, but we managed to grind out a result. Our overall record at home to Newcastle is fairly good. Yeah, fairly good in the same way. Our away record isn't as good. But our home record against Newcastle, played 84, won 48, drawn 20, lost 16. 167 goals scored and just 82 against. That's quite impressive. That's quite high on the goals for and against ratio. And please check out my little History Boys feature. I go back to the 5th of May 1969, a game I possibly or probably would have been at. I went to most games in those days, but I I can't remember, guys. It's only nearly 50 odd years ago. I can't remember myself what games I went to and what games I didn't. And obviously, I used to cut my programs up and stick pictures on my walls in my bedroom. So any programs I have now are usually what I've rebought since. So I can't even tell off that. And of course, Newcastle themselves on the 5th of May, they were actually going for European glory at the time. Of course, we just lifted the FA Cup at Wembley by beating Leicester City. So have a look at that. It's only 10 or 12 minutes. I do enjoy doing the history shows and good fun. Please give that a watch if you get a chance. The odds, please. I don't condone gambling when the fun stops. Stop. For this game, yeah, generally 2 to 13 on for a City win. You can get 1 to 6 at Coral. Not great value for money. A draw is 7 to 1. If you're a Newcastle fan and you're confident, why not? You could do go for the draw and a Newcastle win because that's 20 to 1. So, yeah, so as I say, certainly not much value for City fans, but please check out my little odds show. Well, I will try and find a little bit of value for City fans. As I say, another win last week for the charity, the Christian nominated charity. So having a good run again at the moment with wins for the charity. So how's this going to pan out? Well, any thoughts of Moneybags Newcastle being relegated are probably a distant memory now, aren't they? You've got new signings, and of course Eddie Howe, who I think at the time on another podcast, a general football podcast, I was saying I think he'll do an okay job, even though one of his strengths possibly wasn't defensive, and that's where Newcastle was struggling. But I thought he'd do a good job, and it's turned out he has done a good job. He's propelled them up to mid-table safety, of course, actually into the top half of the table as I'm recording this. This, though, was mainly thanks to the home form. Yeah, they had a few home games in the month of April, yeah, and they had six wins on the trot before, of course, succumbing to Liverpool last weekend just by 1-0. It was in all fairness a deserved win for Liverpool. Liverpool weren't great, but they certainly dominated this, and Newcastle didn't have much answer to them. So, yeah, that was the first defeat. Say they did 1-6 at home before that. And they just played a couple of away games in April, both ends of the month. And obviously that's a bit patchy. They had a 3-0 win at Norwich, which was the last game of April. But they'd suffered an earlier 5-1 loss at Spurs in their only 2 away games. So at least we're playing them at home, which is a good sign on that one. If not on the beach, which I don't think they are, Newcastle, as they have been since the takeover, are constantly being linked to other players, and obviously they are planning new arrivals. Of course they are, and they've recently put a few players on the transfer list as well, so they're sorting themselves out. And Eddie Howe has hinted that, of course, Trippier may be available for the City game. He's been out recently, so whether he will be or not, I'm not too sure. But for them, let's face it, they've got a few big plans. Of course, they've got big plans. They're bound to have big plans. And I would say, obviously, the big problem they had was surviving at first. They got through that very, very well. And now the big plans is to go on and take that step further to get perhaps top 6, get Europe, perhaps top 4. Perhaps ambitions might be a bit higher next season. Try and go for top 4, certainly top 6, get some sort of European football as well. Well, this game against us is the proverbial free hit for them, isn't it? They're playing. They don't need to play without any, they're safe now. They can't get relegated. No chance of that. So, I mean, they'll be absolutely okay. They'll enjoy the trip to the Etihad, and hopefully they'll catch City on a bit of a low after that Champions League. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully we'll bite back and be well up for this. But I think they're in a good place psychologically. Physically, yeah, they don't have too many injury problems at the moment as well, and as I said, a lot of new players, so they have a lot of turnover of players, so they do have guys still trying to make an impression as well. But will they have the ambition to cause many problems? I don't think so. They'll be relaxed, but will they be good enough? Probably not. As I said against Liverpool last week, they were okay, but Liverpool weren't great. But they sort of dominated the game, even though it was only 1-0. They did actually play very well again. Newcastle didn't play that great, and so hopefully, as I say, mentally, physically, as long as we're up for it, all comes down to the fact of how we are, isn't it? I think Newcastle will play a good game, but at the end of the day, they shouldn't be able to manage with what City can do. And it all comes down to how we've come out of this game, physically and mentally, of course, at Madrid in the week. It's our last chance of glory, so I'm absolutely sure the players will be fired up. We won't want to, as us, the fans, don't want to end up trophyless this season after, promising so much, and it did. And let's face it, we gave probably put out a weaker team in the FA Cup because we wanted to concentrate on the Champions League, and we're out of that now. So we sort of threw that competition to the clean. You know, we got rid of that competition by concentrating on the FA Cup. So yeah, this is it now, isn't it, guys? There are 4 games. This one and 3 more. 2 reasonably tough away games as well. Not to say Villa at home is going to be an easy cakewalk on the last day of the season, but we've got to win this, and I'm sure if we don't, obviously there's might be ramifications going into next season. Especially if we have a disappointing transfer window, certain hints at certain players coming, of course there is, but there's going to probably be ins and outs. If it was left to the fans, we'd have no team left, because that's all I've seen today, criticism from the fans and who should go, you know, from Edison up to the other end of the pitch. Mahrez, all should be leaving City according to some fans, but they're not proper fans, they're just people. You know, I don't hear that. I don't sense that at the Etihad from being with the fans. But yeah, so as I say, we do need to do that. If the worst comes to the worst and we don't pick up this league title, yeah, it could possibly have a devastating effect. It could possibly fire us into action with some new blood next season. Who knows? Well, let's get this one. Let's get this Newcastle game won first, and then we'll start worrying about things after that. Of course, we'll know how Liverpool have got on in their game against Tottenham. Can you see Tottenham doing anything against Liverpool? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I can't see anything happening there. So, yeah, there it is. I mean, our biggest problem, apart from the players being up for it, is just how fit our players are. There's no doubt that some have been playing on a little bit of fumes recently, and interestingly enough, KDB's the sort of prime example of that in that Madrid game. Some very good recent performances seem to catch up with him in this one. He started very well, but then just faded out of the game totally in the Bernabeu. And the risk, obviously, is that they may have a little knock. But, you know, nothing's been said, there's nothing commented. So it's just a tactical change, and KDB wasn't quite at it, or couldn't get through, you know, couldn't sort of adapt to the system that perhaps Real Madrid were playing. I'm not too sure what happened with that. So that'll be interesting to see, but hopefully he's not injured. It was just a tactical decision, and we certainly did improve, I thought, slightly when KDB went off. No disrespect to KDB, he's marvellous, but it just wasn't working, was it? And let's face it, we're going to suffer now probably for that risk of playing Walker as well. That might have backfired massively, because I can't see Walker... obviously, he'll probably join Stones now in missing the rest of the season, unless something unusual happens or strange happens. But hopefully, if KDB's not injured, it will be okay to play in this game and lead us to another victory. So, yeah, our best 11, probably mentally and physically, have got to be taken into account with this one. And I have no idea, guys. Pep will. Pep will have an idea. But if you're going to start risking players like Stones in games, sometimes he's getting some duff information. I don't think that was worth doing, unless the chances of him playing at any stage was still dim. You know, if they said to him, "Well, yeah, if you play Walker, there's no guarantee he's going to be fully fit for the next 4 games." Perhaps just Pep took a plunge and went for it, and Walker was up for it. I mean, I know in the old days you used to get players in painkilling injections, you know, in the old days, but I'm not too sure whether that still happens to any great extent. So it'll be very interesting. Obviously, we'll know a bit more when we see Pep's press conference. So I'll just go on my team based on hopefully what I think and what I evaluate from that Real Madrid game. So, yeah, any doubts over KDB? I think Gundo will play. I don't think Gundo will start this game. I think he'll come in if KDB's out. I think Aki will be preferred to Zinchenko in this one. If he's fit, he was on the bench. You have to assume he was fit in Madrid. No place for Ferner in this one, I don't think, unless he comes on from the bench. Mahrez probably still preferred to Sterling, scoring that goal that very so nearly won it for us. Obviously, still prefer to Sterling, I would have thought. Grealish, probably, again, I'm not saying he did that badly. He could have been a hero. He just failed just by inches to be a hero. So, again, no Grealish in my starting 11. So this is my 11, guys, for the Newcastle game. Edison, Cancelo, Diaz, Laporte, Ake, Rodri, KDB, Bernardo, Foden, and Jesus, yeah, giving another crack, and Mahrez, of course. So 3, is that right? Is that 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11, that's right. So as I say, it's that's my 11 based on a little bit of information I give you there. Right, on to the quirky stats before we finish this little preview. Not many left this season now. City have lost just one of the last 28 league games against Newcastle. We've won 23, drawn 4, going down 2-1 at St James's Park in January 2019. Newcastle have never won a Premier League game at City's ground, drawn 2, lost 14, losing each of their last 12 visits. Their last away win against City was at Main Road in September 2000. Alan Shearer scoring the winner. There you go. What happened to him? Man City have scored at least once in each of their last 26 Premier League games against Newcastle, the joint longest run of one team scoring against another in the competition's history. Arsenal versus West Brom and Man United versus Leicester, also 26. So we'll be out on our own if we get a goal in this one, guys. Only Liverpool with 41 and City 33 have won more Premier League points in 2022 than Newcastle. Shows how well they're doing. 32. However, the Magpies have lost 3 of their last 4 away league games, so that only win came at Norwich, of course. Newcastle had 17 different players score a Premier League goal for them this season, with no side having more, excluding own goals. It's the Magpies' joint most goal scorers they've had in a single Premier League campaign, level with 2019-20. City have scored 789 goals in 359 Premier League games at the Etihad, the best goals per game ratio any side has at a specific home venue in the competition, 2.2. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe has lost all 11 of his Premier League meetings with City, the worst 100% losing record a manager has against a single opponent in the competition. 9 of those defeats have come against Pep, also the worst 100% losing record one manager has against another in the Premier League. So there you go, guys. Quirky stats. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your starting 11. Let me know your thoughts going into the Newcastle game. Let's forget this BERNABEU thing. Put that to, it's gone. Nothing we can do about that. We can't turn back time, as someone used to sing about, didn't it? We could turn back time, but we can't. We move on and we go to win this title. That's what we need to do. We need to get behind the boys. I certainly. So I lost a bit of my voice yesterday in the pub. So I'll definitely be losing it as usual. Hopefully on Sunday, cheering the guys on. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, what your hopes are. Let me know your score predictions, anything like that. It'd be great to hear from you. So please tune back in for my match report, which will probably be out on the Monday. I don't think I'll be getting out Sunday night. I'm travelling back, etc. It'll be a bit late because I'm up early, of course, on Monday as well. So I'll probably get that out by lunchtime on Monday. And check out my History Boys feature, which is good fun. And of course, The Odd Show. Check out what I'm having a go at for our nominated charity, the Christie. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. I only ask one thing, don't I? Till we meet again, please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.